Who Comes with Cannons, Chapter 9, From the North and to It. After every first day meeting, the Bardwells spoke with other friends, gathering whatever news they could. In windy October, they heard of a mid-September Union victory in Tennessee, and in December of another one in that same state. News traveled even more slowly now, because the Quakers spoke little with the townspeople, who spat and cursed at them. Yankee victories were hateful, and the Quakers were a handy target for the Southerners' anger. The new year of 1864 came in grimly, with still no news about Robert. Truth and Martha went on teaching at the little school, and twice Lydia brought letters Michael Hartling had sent to her family and shared them with her friends. He was working in an army hospital as a male nurse, not as a soldier. His father was a doctor, and he knew enough medicine to be chosen for that kind of job. When Truth told Todd this news, he nodded and said, "He won't be going into any battles then. The nurses stay back of the lines. It makes thee happy, doesn't it?" "I bet thee likes them better than thee has ever said." Truth felt a red flush creep up from her neck, which made Todd and Lucy laugh. It was good to hear Todd laugh. He was well by now and hated being cooped up. Finally, long months after the Bardwells' message had been sent north, the railroad brought word of him. Friend Buchan brought it early on a sultry Saturday morning in August. Martha rode beside her father in the rickety wagon pulled by their old white mare. Their horses, cows, and better wagon had been taken by the Southern government. They had been paid in Confederate money that was worth little, but then what was there to buy? Truth, her aunt, and Lucy hiked up their skirts and ran to the wagon with Uncle Matthew lumbering behind. "Is it news of Robert?" cried his mother. "It is," Friend Buchan leaned down. "We have located him, sister. The message came at dawn from a stranger who was passing through. All he said was, 'Friend Robert Bardwell is at the new federal prison in Elmira, New York.'" "New York!" cried Truth. "That's so far away from here." "It is," agreed Martha's father. He asked the Bardwells, "Will thee tell the news tomorrow at the meeting?" Truth looked at her uncle and saw him frown and tug at his lower lip. "No, but I shall ask the advice of the elders. Now that we know where Robert is, matters have changed." The other man shook his head. "We cannot trust the message for certain. We know that." After the meeting, Truth waited with her aunt Lucy and Lucy's family, watching Matthew Bardwell talk with three old men beside the log house. The women waited for a long time. At last, the men shook hands, nodded solemnly, and went to their wagons. As Matthew Bardwell got up onto the seat and gathered up the reins, his look was grim. He turned to his wife and said, "Elder Shaw says that he read in a Virginia newspaper that Army prisoners who are friends have been set free by a petition from President Lincoln. They think, and I think, that I should go to Elmira and see for myself if Robert is truly there." "How can he do that?" asked Elizabeth Bardwell with a catch in her voice. His voice was grating as he replied, "The same way Squire and Lily and the slaves got to the north. I cannot hope to get a travel pass from the officials in Goldsboro. Where the slaves were hidden, I can be hidden too. I can come home as Todd did." "Husband, thy speech is that of a man from North Carolina. That could make great trouble for thee in the North. They'll take thee for a Confederate." "No, I shall not go alone, and I shall not speak once I am in the North. Someone else can do that for me." "Who would that be?" Listening in the back of the wagon, Truth felt a quick surge of excitement in her chest, as if yeast were rising there. She squirmed around to touch her aunt on the shoulder and said, "I talk like folks in Indiana. Everybody here tells me that. That's a Yankee state." "Truth?" Her aunt stared at her. "Yes, nobody would take me for a Southerner because I'm not." "Does thee mean to take Truth?" asked Aunt Elizabeth. Her uncle nodded. "Yes, there is no one else who will do. In the North, she will say that she is my niece and I am a mute. We'll dress as friends, peaceful people. Elder Shaw said that the newspaper reported that prisoners die like flies in army prisons. There is much sickness and overcrowding in those places, and the food is poor. I must get to Elmira to see if our son is truly in prison and still alive. Then I shall travel to Washington to see Mr. Lincoln." "Mr. Lincoln," marveled Lucy, speaking for the first time. Matthew Bardwell went on to his wife. "What few crops I planted this year of oats and corn must be harvested. The elders will send men to help thee while we are away. At all costs, Todd must stay hidden. Thee and Lucy must operate our station." He turned around to look at Truth, his face shadowed by his broad-brimmed hat. He asked her quietly, "Will thee go with me, child? We should go soon. Tonight." Choosing her words carefully, Truth told him earnestly, "If thee had not asked me, I would have followed thee to friend Buchan's when thee left, and followed thee when thee left for the next station. Thee and thy wife took me in as a daughter and have been kind to me. I know thee has little money any more, but I have some." Now her speech quickened. "When we get to the north, we shall ride on a real railroad to Elmira. Maybe we'll get to see New York City as well as Washington." Elizabeth Bardwell looked shocked. She scolded, "Truth, daughter, this will not be in a hayride. Thee may hide in terrible places thee cannot imagine. Husband, is this right?" "Is Robert dying in prison right?" Lucy had the final word. "I'd go. I'd leave Todd if I could fill Truth's shoes in this. Thee must try to rescue his brother." "Thank thee, Lucy," whispered Todd as she sat back thinking. The glow she had felt when she volunteered enveloped her once more. What a good opinion of her in Indiana the elders had. Truth hadn't thought they even noticed her, but they surely had. There must have been much talk about the Bardwells' Indiana cuddle cousin and her part in the Underground Railroad. Her uncle added to the glow when he remarked, "Elder Shaw says that Truth has a solid and godly spirit, quick wits, and a nimble tongue." Friend Dunn praised her also. The radiance turned a soft golden yellow, and Truth shivered. Going north. Going tonight. The first stop would be at the Buchans. Where would the others be? After the farewell supper, at which Todd joined them, there were tears and long embraces. Just after dark, Matthew Bardwell and his niece left on horseback for the Buchans' house. They took one small carpet bag with them and nothing more. Though the August night was hot, they wore heavy underclothing they might need later. Deeply engrossed in thoughts of the dangers they were to face, the travelers kept to their own counsel. William Buchan, his wife, and Martha were stunned to hear of their real errand when Matthew Bardwell told them, "This time, Truth and I are the contraband. We are to be taken on to the next station north. We're on our way to New York, to Elmira.